The journey of Marco Siffredi began as a whisper of excitement in the windswept slopes of Chamonix, a beautiful town tucked away in the heart of the Alps. Marco's story is not an ordinary tale. It is a tale of bravery, a never-ending desire to learn more, and the mystery that surrounds the world's most beautiful mountains. But in the end, the mysterious vanishing of the Everest Snowboard Conqueror, Marco Siffredi, captivated the whole world. Marco didn't just see the mountains as mountains. To him, they were his playground, his canvas, and a task to change what was possible. The world first took notice of Marco. When Marco was just 17 years old, he did something that seemed impossible. He climbed down the north face of the Aiguille du Midi. Once thought to be impossible to climb, the dangerous hills were his playground and his chance to show how brave he could be. This bold move wasn't just a show of athletic skill. It was also a statement of rebellion against the limits that society had put in place. As Marco's trip went up and up, he looked for the world's most dangerous peaks to climb so he could write his name into the history of extreme sports. The north face of the Eiger and the icy edges of Toklaraju were just steps on his brave road. Each climb was a brushstroke on the picture of Marco's unbreakable spirit. Each peak was a story in his never-ending quest to go beyond his own limits. But Everest called out to them more than any other peak. Marco didn't just want to reach the world's highest peak, it was also where he did his most daring piece of art. The dream of snowboarding down the slopes of Everest was more than just a personal victory. It was a test of what people can do. Marco's path to reaching this ultimate goal was filled with hard work, careful planning, and a strong will. In 2001, Marco was the first person to snowboard down Everest. This made him a part of history. Navigating the icy maze of Everest's slopes was more than just a slide. It was a dance with danger, a personal talk between human willpower and the fierceness of nature. Marco's story didn't end on the hills of Everest. He went back in 2002 because he couldn't get enough of adventure. He was determined to tackle the unconquered, which was the descent via the Hornbein Couloir. As Marco Siffredi got ready for his second try to reach his dream of descending Mount Everest via the difficult Hornbein Couloir, a series of fateful events began to happen. Even though his guides warned him that a storm was coming, he was still determined to take on this dangerous way. But as Marco's trip reached new heights, a mystery began to appear. The deep connections he made with the majestic mountains that became his canvas of courage. On September 7, 2002, Marco began his climb. He was determined to reach the top again and finish the dangerous fall he had planned. But as he reached the top, he felt both joy and fear because a storm was coming. As he filled up his oxygen tank, Marco's sense of urgency was clear. He was getting ready for the most important part of his trip. This hard-to-do task was going to take place in the death zone, an area with dangerously low oxygen levels and a very harsh climate. Even though there were problems, Marco got on his snowboard and started carving his way down the dangerous hill. Most likely those in Nepal who saw him leave were the last people to see him live. But as time went on, and Marco didn't make his glorious return to base camp, worry turned into hopelessness. The storm that was coming turned out to be a tragedy of unimaginable size. The fearless snowboarder Marco Siffredi, who had overcome difficulties that seemed impossible to overcome, was now missing on the mountain he loved. When a couple of weeks passed, search teams looked all over the harsh environment, and each step was filled with hope and desperation, but it was of no use. But the search went on, not only because they wanted to find one man, but also because they wanted to learn about how brave people can be and how unpredictable nature can be. It was a search that was full of unspoken questions. Could one person's will really beat the mountain's power? Could the allure of the peaks, which had drawn Marco in so strongly, be his undoing in the end? As the days turned into months, the search became less about finding a real presence and more about finding a way to end it. Marco Siffredi's snowboard, which had been his faithful partner on the slopes of history, was still missing, just like the man himself. The icy embrace of the mountains seemed to hold both his body and the answers to the riddles he had been looking for. As the seasons went by and the mountain's snowy coat melted away, it seemed to take with it the sounds of Marco's laughter and determination, leaving only a whisper of what once was. From the whispering hills of Chamonix to the towering heights of Everest, Marco's bravery and insatiable curiosity have left their mark on the very heart of adventure. The mystery surrounding his last adventure is a powerful reminder that nature's secrets are often as intriguing as they are hard to find.